Hi guys, it's another edition of Unabridged, and I'm a little tired tonight, and I'm on location. It's not a normal place for me, and I have to hold the phone tonight, so sorry if it's kind of shaky. My tripod went kaput, and I've been limping along without it for a couple weeks, but um, need to get a new one. So last week, what did we talk about last week? Getting out of our comfort zone. And I want to know what you guys did out of your comfort zone, if you did anything. Um, and tell me, let me know feedback on that. Um, I'll share mine a little later. But tonight, we're going to talk about what is it called? Getting out of our own little world. So I was inspired by a couple conversations that I've had about this topic. And it has kind of a couple meanings, but I'm going to start with the first one. And um, in our lives, we're creatures of habit, right? So we get into very routine things, and um, sometimes we're so focused on our routine that we don't see anybody else. We don't see the bigger picture. We just have our routine and our focus, and that's all we do. And so I was prompted by this for a couple of reasons, and we all know, if you ever have seen my Facebook page, you know that I have a lot of concern and heart for the people in the country of Haiti right now. Um, and so I just part of my journey in this is to educate people on what's going on in that country and getting out of our own situation here and seeing the world through different eyes. But um, I was talking to a couple of people about life, and there's this woman that I drive by every day, and she's always hunched over on a bench. And I always say to myself, you should do something for that woman. Rain or shine, she's always hunched over. I'm sure she sleeps there. And every time I see her, I just think about it, but I don't do anything, because doing something would be uncomfortable. It would be going out of my way from my routine, driving to work, to do something. And so it's really started me thinking. And with this Haiti trip that I'm planning, and getting people to think outside of their worlds into helping other people. Um, so I was talking to a couple people, like I said, about this. And so this week's challenge is to get out of our own world. And what does that mean? And what does that look like? And I think this will really help us live that full, unabridged life. Um, so I'm going to encourage you, wherever you drive to work or your morning routine, be really looking around in your day. Be very conscious of what you're seeing and who you come in contact with. We were talking about how when you walk by somebody and you say, hi, how are you doing? None of you ever, and I mean, sometimes you do. I shouldn't say none of you ever, but like actually stop to hear the answer that you're asking. Like, how are you doing? I'm doing good, or have that genuine moment with each other, instead of like just have to be so busy going to the next thing where we don't stop and pay attention to what's going on in that person's life. I have bad connection. I'm sorry. Um, and so during those interactions, taking ourselves away from our schedule or away from our goal location, if we're going to our car or grocery shopping, to stop and really have a moment with people and be sincere about that time. So that's one way we can get out of our world, stop being so focused on our to-do lists and our checklists, and have genuine interactions with people. And sometimes that might mean getting uncomfortable. For this lady, I'm trying to decide, what is it. Like, the fear in my mind is that she'll not want my help, not want, like, I thought maybe I could bring her breakfast. She's been out there all night. Maybe she won't want that. Maybe she's an angry person, and it could put myself in a bad situation. But I think that I should at least try, and I should be uncomfortable and go help give her breakfast. So I'm going to do that this week. But another thing I wanted to talk about getting outside of our own little worlds is things happen, bad things happen in our lives. We could have a relationship that has ended. We could have a trauma that has happened in our lives. We could lose a job or not get a job that we wanted. All of these things that can happen to us that can negatively affect us. It's okay to grieve and be in that moment, but I want to challenge us to take the moment that we need. But then take our energy and give it to somebody else. Whether that is going, especially in the holiday season, this is going to be like such a lonely and hurtful time for so many people. Well, take yourself out of the equation. Go help at a homeless shelter. Go participate in a toy drive. Volunteer somewhere. Go somewhere and do something for somebody else. Go impact their world and take the focus off of your world. And I think that can really help us get out of our focused lives and see the world in a bigger picture. And there's a song that I sang in church today, actually, because it's been really heavy on my heart, called My Own Little World. And in the process of the song, he just talks about how nothing really affects him because he goes upon his day. It's a pretty easy day. He's got food, he's got some money, and if he doesn't like what's on the news, he turns it off. And then he sees this homeless woman who he's driven by just like me all the time and's never done anything. And then he does something, and now his world has two people in it. And then he prays that prayer to God that I've prayed, break my heart for what breaks yours. And then he's able to understand that in the world it's just not about him, and it's about serving and giving to people, and we can really find healing in that. And so if we're going through this time, this struggle, this adjustment, if we're alone on the holiday season, if we're hurting in whatever way, if we can just reach out to people and give ourselves to somebody, there's so much healing in that for us too. So getting out of our worlds has so many meanings. We can be genuine with people and stop worrying about our todays, getting uncomfortable so we can impact somebody's life positively, and taking the focus off ourselves and our problems so that we can serve somebody else and heal in the process of that too. And then we're going to take it a step further, and it's going to be aware of the world and aware of what's going on in our world, and to just, sometimes just grieve with the world and pray with the world. If you're a prayer, pray for somebody who just is in that situation where, like, I think about the children in Aleppo who like they just wake up knowing that today they probably aren't going to eat, and just praying that they don't get bombed, right? Like, that's not a reality that we have here. And I just so, like, when I think about that, I can just be so grateful. Go back to the attitude of gratitude when we take ourselves out of our situation and we open our eyes to the world. There's just so much fighting and anger and angst in our own backyard. We have that here in our country, and around the world it's so much worse. So many people today have not eaten, and that's the fourth step in our get out of our own little world. Like, see the world, be mindful of the world, be grateful for our situation, but to actually do something. That's the last step in getting out of our world. We can mourn with people, we can pray with people, and that's doing something, but sometimes you actually have to get uncomfortable and go do something. Maybe your pocketbook has got to hurt a little bit so you can help somebody else who's suffering. Doing something, a physical act of doing or monetarily giving, is going to be so much more impactful to your life than you could possibly ever imagine. And so that's my challenge this week, is to go outside of your own little world, take the focus on yourself, not just see outside of your own little world, but do. go do something that makes you uncomfortable, that's going to benefit somebody else. And I guarantee you, you will feel that unabridged, full life from doing that. You will find that attitude of gratitude from going and doing something for somebody else, doing something that's a sacrifice. Do a sacrifice for yourself, for somebody else, and watch how your life has changed. You might not even know what's coming when you do something like that. So that's my challenge for you this week. Thank you for watching, and feedback is always great. I want to hear what you do to step out of your comfort zone. If you're thinking about the trip to Haiti, that for a lot of people is really stepping out of your comfort zone. So try it. If we have some spots left, that's my little pitch for Haiti there. And sorry, I was trying to read and I can't read. That's it. So I would like to hear what you did last week about trying something that you thought you couldn't. And then this week, let me know if you've done something to get out of your comfort zone, to get out of your own little world. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And here's to a great week for everyone. Thanks for watching. See you next week.